15 Things You Should Never Do in Mexico. Mexico is a huge and beautiful country, famed for its welcoming, friendly people. But as with any other place, foreign visitors are susceptible to making the occasional error in the unfamiliar surroundings. To avoid such blunders, take a look at our list of the things travelers should avoid doing on a vacation to Mexico. Number 1. Don't drink the water. Steer clear of the tap water at all costs in Mexico. Drinking from the tap can make you very sick indeed. Few restaurants, especially in big cities, would ever serve customers tap water. But if you're enjoying a meal in a remote, rural location, it's best to check that salads are not washed under the tap and any ice cubes are made from bottled water. Number 2. Don't drink on the street. Although public drinking does happen in Mexico, especially in popular tourist destinations, it's technically illegal. Do not drink on the street in big cities, because doing so will quickly attract the attention of the authorities. Number 3. Don't reach for the hot sauce. Mexican food is laced with spicy flavors that can be intense for those not used to them. Even if you enjoy hot food, go easy in Mexico on your first few days and start adding spice when you know you can handle the heat. Stomach problems and diarrhea are common among visitors to Mexico, so avoid the hot sauce until your system has settled. Number 4. Don't forget to tip. Mexico's tipping culture is less pronounced than the United States, but it is common courtesy to include at least 10% of your bill for the waiter. This rule applies for restaurants, cafes, and even bars, where you will pay for drinks when you are billed at the end of the night. Number 5. Don't criticize Mexican food. Mexicans are rightly proud of their food, so avoid the social faux pas of casually dismissing it. Each of the country's diverse regions uses unique ingredients and cooking techniques that define their dishes, so avoid generalizing about a source of national pride. Number 6. Don't flash your valuables. There's nothing wrong with taking vacation snaps, but pack your camera away when it is not in use. Opt for simple jewelry as opposed to flashy diamond rings and keep your visa and passport locked away in your hotel. Pickpockets operate in major Mexican cities, so be careful with your valuables on the metro. Number 7. Don't hail a cab. For security reasons, it is best to avoid hailing a cab in major cities such as Mexico City and Guadalajara. Instead, have your hotel call a driver or use the official taxi sites, such as those in airports, where the cabs are fully licensed. Number 8. Don't forget your walking shoes. You may associate Mexico with sandy beaches and sandals, but wearing proper shoes is a must in most places. Potholes and hilly streets are scattered across Mexico City, while cobblestoned avenues and unpaved paths are common in small towns. Number 9. Don't eat near the big tourist attractions. Sure, the cost of living in Mexico City is almost certainly cheaper than the place you're traveling in from, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be on your guard against getting overcharged for food and drinks. With that in mind, don't eat right by the main tourist attractions, such as right on the Zocalo, or by Bellas Artes. Number 10. Don't dine before 9. You're probably aware that Latin countries tend to dine late, and Mexico City is no exception to that rule. If you find yourself wandering into a restaurant at 6 p.m. sharp for dinner, don't be shocked to see you're either alone or entirely in the company of other foreigners. Number 11. Don't try and spend all your change. It might be tempting to try and get rid of all those 1 peso coins the second the cashier gives you them, but honestly, change is a bizarre commodity in Mexico and you'll need it to pay for buses, many of which only accept the exact amount, as well as tacos and even in corner shops. In short, cling onto your coins for as long as humanly possible. Number 12. Don't dawdle. Mexico City is huge and people are in a rush. Don't be that leisurely tourist, who abruptly comes to a halt in the middle of the street just to take some quick, or not, snaps of the sights. Instead, Have some self-awareness and make sure you aren't blocking up the pavements with your unhurried behavior before you pull out your camera. Number 13, don't assume everyone speaks English. Don't be an ignorant tourist, and assume everyone will speak your language, whether that's English or French. Instead, break out of your bubble of self-centeredness and learn at least some basic phrases. Making an effort costs nothing. Number 14, don't skip the sunscreen. Americans and Canadians and people from other northerly nations may not be prepared for the intensity of the sun in Mexico. Even if you think you don't burn, well, in Mexico you probably will, because Mexico is closer to the equator, which means the sun is closer to you. You should also be choosing a biodegradable sunscreen, especially if you plan to swim in the ocean. Sunscreens that are not biodegradable can harm the coral reefs and marine life in Mexican waters. Number 15, don't wander into unsafe neighborhoods. Finally, Mexico City is often touted as a dangerous destination, but that's really not true as long as you stick to the well-trodden areas and make sure you're not strolling casually down back alleys looking confused and, therefore, like a target for thieves.